24, where we bring you exciting topics, great music, your favorite artists, and good times.
Join us each and every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Faraja Mashup. It's your boy Big Man Kyuga.
And your boy Big Willie, aka the Big Kahuna.
Faraja TV, Chemi Chemi ya Furaha.
Good morning and welcome to a dialogue-filled morning show, the Dawn Dialogue Show with me, Wangeshi Mukoi, and this is Faraja TV. Remember, you can keep sending us your feedback on our SMS line, that is 0703-339-959, and across all our social media platforms at Faraja TV Kenya, at Wangeshi Mukoi. And today's guest is Martin Lunalo, an activist. We are going to be discussing the wins and the victories in the activism journey. So stay tuned and send those questions. We can ask him how he's able to handle the whole issue of, being a man and being a female activist. So we're going to get to know more about Martin Lunalo in the next segment. But before then, we are going to have the press analysis, and that's our daily routine. And with me at hand, I have the Daily Nation newspaper and the Standard newspaper. Na kulingana na statistics, Kenyans are unhappy. Kenyans' happiness ranking drops for the first time in 5 years. Yani hata wapo wenye hawafurahishi. So that's a story highlighted on the Daily Nation newspaper on the back page. And Kenya's happiness levels have dropped for the first time in 5 years. An analysis based on a newly released survey show scores in the happiness ranking are based on individuals' assessment of their lives. And the annual World Happiness Report 2024 edition ranks Kenya at position 114 out of 143 surveyed countries, having dropped 3 places from 111 in the last year's report, marking the reversal of a 5-year trend where the country's score have been on a sustained improvement trajectory. And in terms of age demographics, young people emerged as the happiest group, ranking position 109 globally, while those in the upper middle age are the unhappiest, ranking at 123, and the lower middle-aged as well as the elderly exhibited similar levels of happiness, both ranking at position 119 worldwide. And the survey defines young people as those aged below 30, and lower middle-aged as those between 30 and 44, upper middle-aged as those between 45 and 59, while those above 60 are referred to as elderly. And in the region, Kenya ranked ahead of neighbors Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Egypt, and Zambia, who took up position 117, 131, 130, 127, and 134 respectively. And the researchers arrive at the rankings by asking respondents in the surveyed countries to assess and rate life with a score of 10 as the best possible life for them and 0 as the worst possible condition. And the study did not provide details on why Kenya's happiness score dipped in 2023, even though tough economic times amid heightening inflation and the pain of newly introduced taxes have rattled many households or individuals. Why are you guys unhappy? Okay. You can tell us we are dropping pale kwa furaha, at least tukiangua kwingine tusianguke kwa furaha. Tuishi kwa furaha, my guys. So the other story making headlines on the 2 newspapers is that Gachagua walks back on Kenyatta's attacks. And the writer really captures it very well, and he says it's a humble pie, and that's the Standard newspaper. And on the Daily Nation newspaper, it says, "Mama, please forgive us." And the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, says that he's sorry, and he tenders their apologies to Mama Ngina and asks her to forgive them just like her children, and it was a political bad manners and it shall never happen again. That is what DP Rigathi Gachagua said, and the story is written in depth on the 6th page of the Daily Nation newspaper, written in depth on the 4th page of the Standard newspaper. You can check the views of the two writers because I am so sure they differ in terms of how they've captured the whole story. And clearly, the Deputy Rigathi Gachagua has sought forgiveness from Kenya's First Lady Mama Ngina Kenyatta over political transgressions against her family. And Gachagua has said he regrets the words that the Kenya Kwanza administration leaders hurled at Mama Ngina and her family, vowing to never allow that to happen again. And speaking on Kameme TV and radio stations yesterday, Gachagua said Mama Ngina, by virtue of her age and status, is the mother to the politicians insulted her during the campaign period. And on April 24th last year, in one of his tirades against the former First Lady, Gachagua challenged her to divide half of the Kenyatta family land and share it to the children of Mau Mau, who he claimed were squatters. This was after Mama Ngina met freedom fighter, the late Muthoni Kirima, Field Marshal. And it's maybe something it's actually a humble pie. We didn't expect this. And the DP blamed on bad politics the insults former President Uhuru Kenyatta's mother faced from the government loyalists. And before and after the elections, he was speaking yesterday during an interview, as mentioned earlier, on Kameme TV and Kameme FM yesterday, and Kikuyu Council of Elders Chairman Wachira Kiago, while maintaining that the kingship matter is still with Mr. Kenyatta, said the matter will now be open for debate, but the apology, he said, needs to be followed up with fulfillment of cultural rituals, including slaughtering a goat in a ceremony to be attended by the aggressors and the aggrieved, who will both publicly declare forgiveness. And former Gatanga MP Ndwati Ngugi said Mr. Gachagua's apologies came as a good surprise to the community, and many of them were in the Azimio la Umoja Kenya Alliance cannot hide their elation. And the other person who commented on the same, still the MP for the former MP for Gatanga, Ndwati Ngugi, he also said that what he didn't know is whether the family spokesman, who is Mr. Kenyatta, will play ball. If he asked Ndwati, he should. It is our collective desire that we unite for now in search of development for our people, and we can always bid for political fortunes differently at a later stage. That is what the former MP for Gatanga said. And during the show, the DP said in retrospect, he now agrees that their political manners went to the dogs, where they abandoned even their cultural dictations and hurled insults at their community matriarch. And he also added that it haunts him a great deal, leading himself to ask how he got to that point of attacking each other like rabid dogs. And Mr. Gachagua pointed out that the degeneration of political discipline to a point where those of them who are in the UDA alliance exchanged in uncouth words with their brothers and sisters in the community who were supporting Azimio was gross. And on 27th March last year, some people believed to be hired political goons raided the Kenyatta's Northlands estate, stole sheep and trees, burnt parts of the land, and attempted to subdivide the land. And Gachagua said that those were acts that were not supposed to ever experience again, since their mother, Mama Ngina Kenyatta, is an understanding soul. He knows that she's going to accept their apology. And the nominated Senate MP, Sabina Chege, said the community needs to unite and seek peace with the Kenyatta family. And she proceeds and says that we cannot pretend not to know the immense space that family occupies in our region, and politics aside, the founding fathers family has its history and attachment to the whole region. And Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga said it is time Mr. Gachagua and Mr. Kenyatta came together and thrashed out their differences for the unity of the Mount Kenya region. And former administrator Joseph Kaguthi said the Gachagua apology is a major political happening that puts Kenyatta family under pressure to reciprocate. It's quite a humble pie, just as the writer has written that on the Standard. And for once, I feel that, not for once, that this was a bold move from our deputy, to apologize. Because at times, when you're in that political space, you force yourself to utter some words that come out disrespectful, and I thank God that he saw where he went amiss, and it's very nice that he took up and boldly apologized on behalf of his colleagues, which was quite a bold move. And the other story making headlines on our Kenyan newspaper is that a DJ police, a famous DJ by the name DJ Joe Mfalme, known as, that is his stage name, he's known as Joe Mwendwa, popularly known as DJ Joe Mfalme, and 6 others are to remain in custody for the next 14 days to allow the police to conclude investigation into the killing of Detective Felix Kintosi. And the story is highlighted on the first page of the Daily Nation newspaper, as well as the Standard newspaper. And the celebrity DJ and police officers were yesterday arraigned, with the DPP saying they will take a murder plea after the man they allegedly fought with died. And the story is written in depth on the 3rd page of the Standard newspaper, written in depth on the 14th page of the Daily Nation newspaper. And it's quite unfortunate that the DP says the 7 suspects to be detained for 21 days, and prosecutor says more time needed because probe is complex. And the director of public prosecutions, Renson Ingoga, yesterday revealed that the state intends to press murder charges against disc jockey Joe Mfalme during the hearing for an application to detain DJ Joe Mfalme, whose real name is Joseph Mwendwa Munoru. Ingonga, through prosecutor Lawrence Mutune, said the investigations will determine whether the DJ and 6 co-accused were responsible for the death of Dagoretti Deputy Sub-County Criminal Investigation Officer Felix Kilian Kintosi and Mfalme's employees Alan Ocheng, Eric Karaoke Gadhua, and Simon Wambogo Wanjiro, together with Kikuyu Police Station-based officers Hadija Abdi Wako, Sami Cheruyot Rotich, and Agnes Kerubo Mugoi, appeared before Kibera Magistrate Margaret Murage, and Mutune told the magistrate that the investigators needed 21 days to detain the 7 since the probe was complex. And the lead investigator, Frederick Kosen, told the court that the Kilian's death was reported by his brother Reynard Kintosi, and Kilian was involved in a slight accident while driving along Kikuyu Road opposite Kikuyu Police Station. And after the accident, there was an altercation where Kilian was allegedly beaten up by the DJ and his employees. And Wako, a traffic officer based at Kikuyu Police Station, visited the scene and found Kilian being beaten. And Kilian was taken to Nairobi West Hospital on March 16th, where he was admitted with lower abdominal pains and died on March 21st. And the other 2 police officers arrested were Sami Cheruyot Rotich and Agnes Kerubo Mugoi, who were desk reporting officers at Kikuyu Police Station on the day the victim was reported to have been beaten. And what Kosen concluded is that I also intend to take the accused to Mama Lucy Hospital for mental assessment and forward the investigation file to the Director of Public Prosecutions for the determination of appropriate charge to be preferred against them. That is what Kosen said. Quite unfortunate for that, because I hope that one day we'll wake up and the newspapers will be reading Very, very nice news. Like, we'll have nothing negative on these newspapers. So the other story making headlines on our Kenyan newspaper today is that the High Court throws out Njeri's 17 billion diesel case. That story is highlighted on the first page of the Kenyan of the Standard newspaper, written in depth on the second page of the same newspaper. And the Admiralty Court in Mombasa has dismissed the 17 billion diesel claim by businesswoman Anne Njeri against Kenya Pipeline Company for failing to prove that the fuel ever arrived in Kenya. And Justice Kizito Magare said diesel consignment EN 590 never arrived and was not aboard motor tanker Haigui, and the cargo the claimant and defendants were fighting over was not the same. And last year Njeri hit the headlines after she was allegedly abducted by the security officers at the DCI of importation of the 17 billion EN 590 diesel, and Galana Energies Limited and Aramco Trading Fujairah, that is Aramco, had claimed to the 100,000 metric tons of the said diesel. Njeri filed a case at Mombasa High Court on October 8th last year and successfully stopped Kenya Ports Authority and Kenya Pipeline Company from offloading the diesel from a ship. And Justice Kizito issued a warrant of arrest against the vessel, barring it from leaving the port, and also stopped the discharging and offloading of the said oil. And 22.4 million is the amount Njeri was ordered to pay Galana, and 21.7 million is the amount Njeri was ordered to pay Kenya Pipeline Authority. Well, quite unfortunate as well for that, because but I am happy that this case has been imeharakishwa na we at least to get to know where the light was, because that story was a bit tricky and not easy to predict of the outcome, but the outcome has really surprised me as a person. The other story making headlines is that jobs dispute that may cripple KRA, and a costly mistake, a court order barring Kenya Revenue Authority from hiring is threatening to paralyze its operations and undermine revenue collection, with the taxman now finding itself in the middle of a human resource storm as contracts for over 50 senior managers are set to expire amid a staff shortage of 4,000 that has persisted over the years. And the story is highlighted on the first page of the Daily Nation newspaper, written in depth on the 4th and the 5th page of the same newspaper. And the 30-day window given to the KRA to put it in place an ethnic diversity and regional balance policy will expire next Monday, and sources indicate that the document has not been prepared, and this means the KRA will enter into a full-blown human resource crisis that could directly jeopardize its revenue collection mandate and potentially affect the Kenya Kwanza budget for the 2024-2025 financial year. And on March 1st, Busia High Court Judge William Musyoka barred KRA from hiring or making internal appointments across the board and gave the taxman 30 days to put in place an ethnic diversity and regional balance policy. And the judge also quashed the recruitment of 2006 staff hired in 2023 following a petition by Peter Kabinga Orogo, which argued that the process was skewed in favor of two communities, the Kikuyu and the Kalenjin, which accounted for 56% of the new recruits, and that decision has now spread panic at the KRA, which has since moved to the Court of Appeal, and the appellate judges are however yet to give a date for a ruling on whether or not to suspend enforcement of Justice Musyoka's decision pending determination of KRA's appeal. On to the last story as we welcome our guest for the day. There's some good news here I'll highlight as we wind up, but the story that we're going to be looking into depth is a photo of Nairobi when it rains. and workers at Lavington Chalby Drive remove debris from a house that was flooded following heavy rains on Sunday night, and Dagoretti MP Beatrice Elachi blamed the Nairobi County government for giving approvals to buildings near or on riparian lands. And the story is written on the first page of the Standard newspaper, written in depth on the second page of the same, and it's also highlighted on the Daily Nation newspaper. And at least 7 people are feared dead after a heavy downpour in Nairobi on Sunday night that left a trail of destruction in its wake. And the heavy rains have also exposed the capital's age-old problem of poor drainage, which City Hall has struggled with for years. And the story is written in depth on the third page of the same newspaper. Maybe let's have a general overview of the two stories of the same story but in two different newspapers, and see how the writers have captured it. And on the Standard newspaper, heavy rains pounded in Nairobi on Sunday night, leaving a trail of destruction. Roads were blocked, houses submerged in water, and many businesses interrupted, and transport was yesterday morning temporarily affected on the Nairobi Expressway and Enterprise Road due to floods. Motorists were trapped in traffic jams on Lunga Road, Peponi Road, Baricho Road, and Jogoo Road, among others. And a police officer identified as David Chesire lost his life while trying to save lives of at least 4 people in Kamukunji. And other affected areas were Kangemi, Mukuru kwa Ruben, and Mukuru kwa Jenga, Kware, Viwandani, Kayole, and Njiro. And along Chalby Drive in Lavington, residents were marooned in their homes as flood water poured in, causing significant damages. And Dagoretti North MP Beatrice Elachi, who visited the area, blamed illegal buildings and that were constructed along riparian land. And just a general overview in the Daily Nation newspaper, and it is believed that at least 7 people are feared dead after a heavy downpour in Nairobi on Sunday night that left the trail of destruction in its wake. And the heavy rains have also exposed the capital's age-old problem of poor drainage, which City Hall has struggled with for years. And among the dead is a police officer identified as David Chesire, who was on duty. And according to the Nairobi Regional Commander and Adamson Bungei, Chesire was on his way to help rescue 4 people who were trapped in a stall at Country Bus before he was swept away, and his body was yet to be recovered as at last night. And in Dandora Phase 5, a family was left in tears after their daughter was swept away by the floods while trying to cross a makeshift bridge. In the 7 a.m. incident, 2 people were on their way to Shirika Primary School before one of them slipped into the fast-moving water in the Miley Saba area. Well, quite unfortunate, and we send our message of condolence to the family and friends of those who lost their loved ones in that particular heavy downpour. And just a few highlights is that KQ resumes its flights to Eldoret, and the story is highlighted on the first page of the Standard newspaper, written in depth on the 27th page of the same newspaper. You can grab a copy of the 2 newspapers and get to shed more light on the stories that I have highlighted. But now we come to the end of the press analysis, and the next segment I had promised you earlier. Martin Lunalo will be here with us today, and we're going to be discussing the victories in the activism journey. Him being a man, you know, I'm so sure there's so many challenges he has had to face for him to stand out strong and be vocal about women. But he's here and he's going to share with us that success story, and I'm so sure it's quite an exciting one, because rarely it was something, you know, it's something so new that you'll find a man so vocal about women. It was a thing of women being feminist. But you will see Martin Lunalo not on 1 or 2 occasions with placards if there's something that for peaceful demonstrations or walks in support of women. That is so, I applaud him for that. So He'll be joining us in a few minutes, so we're going to take our first real quick break here on Faraja TV. But remember, you can keep sending us your comments and feedback and questions on our SMS line, that is 0703 339 and across all our social media platforms at Faraja TV. You can ask to change the dial. Keep it Faraja TV.
Faraja TV, chemichemi ya furaha.
Usiku na mchana nakupa sifa, day and night, Lord.
Praise God, our viewers. From wherever you're watching us from, we love you, we cherish you. I, Jack Favor, together with DJ Tish, will be bringing you Nuru ya Injili Gospel Show every Sunday from 6 to 10 a.m. I will be bringing you different inspired ministers of the word, amazing guests and artists that will grace the show. You will also be having an opportunity to greet and waking up your friend, as well as sending a song request that will be playing for you right here on Faraja TV. Hii si ya kukosa. Tupatane kila Jumapili, tubarikiwe pamoja. God bless.
Kwa majina ni John Muragori, ninaokuletea program ya uzima wa kiroho na nidhamu, na programu yetu ya kujia mnamo siku ya kila Jumapili saa 1:30 katika runinga yetu ya Faraja TV, chemichemi ya furaha. Karibu sana, karibu pamoja, tushirikiane katika uzima wa kiroho na nidhamu. Karibuni na mbarikiwe sana. God bless you. God see you.
Yo, welcome guys to the biggest and most exciting show in the 254, where we bring you exciting topics, great music, your favorite artists, and good times.
Join us each and every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Faraja Mashup. It's your boy Big Man Kyuga.
And your boy Big Willie, aka the Big Kahuna.
In a world where health matters the most, I bring you a show that delves into the heart of the real challenges in healthcare. This is the Alive and Aware show, where we confront illnesses with knowledge and compassion. Join me, Mary M. Muturi, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of the week from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. only on Faraja TV, as we shed light on different illnesses, featuring professional insights, personal stories, and the latest medical breakthroughs, such as the endoscopy machine. This is the Alive and Aware show, where we are alive and aware of our health status, because being alive is more than just existing.
Well, what is lifestyle? To me, lifestyle is the people, it's entertainment, it's food, it's beauty, it's fashion, it's music, and it's art. So how do you get to deal with these big topics that are affecting our society? Well, worry no more, because I, Sharon Gige, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m, I'll be bringing you amazing guests, and they'll be able to give us solutions on how to handle these big and disturbing topics at Faraja TV Kenya and all our social media platforms. Thank you.
Faraja TV, chemichemi ya furaha.
Usiku na mchana nakupa sifa, day and night, Lord.
Praise God, our viewers. From wherever you're watching us from, we love you, we cherish you. I, Jack Favor, together with DJ Tish, will be bringing you Nuru ya Injili Gospel Show every Sunday from 6 to 10 a.m. I will be bringing you different inspired ministers of the word, amazing guests and artists that will grace the show. You will also be having an opportunity to greet and waking up your friend, as well as sending a song request that will be playing for you right here on Faraja TV. Hii si ya kukosa. Tupatane kila Jumapili, tubarikiwe pamoja. God bless.
Kwa majina ni John Mragori, ninaokuletea program ya uzima wa kiroho na nidhamu, na programu yetu ya kujia mnamo siku ya kila Jumapili saa 1:30 katika runinga yetu ya Faraja TV, chemichemi ya furaha. Karibu sana, karibu pamoja, tushirikiane katika uzima wa kiroho na nidhamu. Karibuni na mbarikiwe sana. God bless you. God see you through.
Yo, welcome guys to the biggest and most exciting show in the 254, where we bring you exciting topics, great music, your favorite artists, and good times.
Join us each and every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Faraja Mashup. It's your boy Big Man Kyuga.
And your boy Big Willie, aka the Big Kahuna.
In a world where health matters the most, I bring you a show that delves into the heart of the real challenges in healthcare. This is the Alive and Aware show, where we confront illnesses with knowledge and compassion. Join me, Mary M. Muturi, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of the week from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. only on Faraja TV, as we shed light on different illnesses, featuring professional insights, personal stories, and the latest medical breakthroughs, such as the endoscopy machine. This is the Alive and Aware show, where we are alive and aware of our health status, because being alive is more than just existing.
Well, what is lifestyle? To me, lifestyle is the people, it's entertainment, it's food, it's beauty, it's fashion, it's music, and it's art. So how do you get to deal with these big topics that are affecting our society? Well, worry no more, because I, Sharon Gige, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m, I'll be bringing you amazing guests, and they'll be able to give us solutions on how to handle these big and disturbing topics at Faraja TV Kenya and all our social media platforms. Thank you.
Faraja TV, chemichemi ya furaha.
Usiku na mchana nakupa sifa, day and night, Lord.
Praise God, our viewers. From wherever you're watching us from, we love you, we cherish you. I, Jack Favor, together with DJ Tish, will be bringing you Nuru ya Injili Gospel Show every Sunday from 6 to 10 a.m. I will be bringing you different inspired ministers of the word, amazing guests and artists that will grace the show. You will also be having an opportunity to greet and waking up your friend, as well as sending a song request that will be playing for you right here on Faraja TV. Hii si ya kukosa. Tupatane kila Jumapili, tubarikiwe pamoja. God bless.
Faraja TV, chemichemi ya furaha.
Welcome back to another segment of the Don't Dialogue Show with me, Wangeshi Mukoi, and our guest for the day is Martin Lunalo, a female activist. Martin was here some times back, like 2 months ago when we just began the show. And I'm glad he's here. For those maybe who never watched that particular episode, meet Martin for the very first time. And remember, you can keep sending us your feedback on our SMS line, that is 0703-339-959, and across all our social media platforms at Faraja TV Kenya, at Wangeshi Mukoi. And Martin Lunalo, karibu sana to the show, and say hi to my viewer.
Good morning. My name is Martin Lunalo. As you've heard, I'm among the feminists in the feminist movement in Nakuru County, but across the country as well, working to make sure that there's justice for all the diversity groups, the women and the children around us, that we have put structure systems in governance that make sure that everyone is enjoying their rights, they're enjoying their lives, and they are not discriminated against any right, or there's no violence in our frameworks. So yeah, that's why we decided to be in that move.
Yeah, you know, it's quite it's quite interesting. I have always seen this guy na placards town as a man, a placard supporting women. You know, it's something. He was here last time and he told us, especially from his community where he comes from, it's something yenye hata sijui nitaita aje. Najua wana kama wewe ni somebody who does not exist, but I'm happy that you're changing that mentality in so many men, you know, so many people from your community, and I applaud you for the good work that you're doing.
Thank you.
For those people maybe who never caught up with the last episode, you can give us a general overview of how you got into being a female activist, maybe in like 5 minutes hapo, ndio waweze kuelewa who Martin Lunalo, how he got himself as to being a female activist. You know, it's something yenye hata mimi sikuwa naamini.
Yeah, I'm a feminist. I support feminism in this country and across the world.
Sure.
And the reason why I did this, I realized that we've had a retrogressive culture that has been undermining women for the longest time.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of women being massacred in their families, being massacred in their marriages, being violated day in, day out. They will not go to school because of the cultures that people believed women should just remain at home as servants.
Yeah.
Even in the Bible, they used to say their support system, or they are saying that. But the life is supposed to change, because when God created all of us, He had a purpose for everyone.
Sure.
And we've seen this through the transition of our constitution that has recognized every person to be a person.
Yeah.
Without discriminating their gender, without discriminating their uniqueness in terms of their biological structure. And therefore, because of these undermining theories that we've heard from our forefathers, that women should just cook, women should just take care of kids, women should just take care of their husband, women should just be there to when they are called to. I thought it is something that we should not be appreciating anymore, because everyone has a right to live life that is of their own interest, their own choices. And as I said the other time, is that so many women are suffering out here. So many women cannot access particular services, despite the vulnerability of their bodies, despite the vulnerability of their systems.
Sure.
Men still decide for women. Men still decide what women should get, which positions should they sit in terms of the power position, what discussion are they supposed to be involved, on what table are they supposed to sit, and what should they sit they are doing. So that is something that I realized we should not as men continue doing, because if there are people who have been taken to school, they are women, they are men, they are all the gender spectrum. I think everyone has a role to play.
Sure.
And I realized it's good for someone like Martin to come out and start changing the mindset of men, saying that that woman that you have in your house is not just a woman to please you. Is a woman that requires to be given the right to be a person, the right to access resources, the right to make their own independent decisions, the right to choose when to give birth and not to give birth, the right to get into employment opportunities, make their own earnings, and support even that family. There's no harm in when you are married to a woman whom you are sharing the responsibility as a family.
This culture of people saying that men are the head of the house, for me, I don't believe so. I believe that when people come together as a marriage or as a partner, as a couple, it's a responsibility of everyone to make sure that family grows. And it depends on what I bring on the table, what am I bringing on the table, how do we discuss our future, how are our children going to be in the future, when we are no longer there, when God calls us to His grace, how are we leaving our children? How will we wish to see our children being? There are other communities that women are being inherited, and the reason why they are being inherited is because wanawaita vyombo ama chombo cha jamii. So you realize that if we ni chombo cha jamii, then yale ambayo unayapata mengine yake ni yale ambayo sio kupenda kwako. Manake kama kwa mfano ulikuwa umeolewa, ulikuwa unaishi vizuri kwenye ndoa yako, alafu kwa sababu ambazo Mungu mwenyewe anazifahamu, bwana yako akaaga dunia. Alafu sasa wale ambao ni wanajamii wanakuja na kuambia kwamba kwa sababu ya mila zetu za hapa lazima uolewe kwa fulani, hatuwezi kuruhusu kutoka kwenye boma hii. Pengine pia wewe ni mwanamke mchanga ambaye you are still too young to be inherited. You still have your own lives, and you are being inherited to a man who is around 70 years while you are 30 years. So I thought it's time for us to speak. It's time for us to say no to these injustices, because they are injustices, to say no to this gender-based violence, because it's gender-based violence. And it's also causing a lot of harm, the physical and mental, psychological harm to this population. But now I thought, can we do this? Can we speak out? Can we stop these shenanigans? Can we say no? I want to see my girls, my daughters one day not becoming objects or tools for trade within the families, within the setups. I want to see them shining up here and saying we are the people who can make decisions for our population.
Yeah, you see, hey, I don't know, but your family is lucky to have you.
Yeah, I think they should.
Yeah, you should be grateful. Actually not, you are a blessing to that family. You know, having a father that supports their girl, a husband that supports their wife, it's something utapata huku, si kila mtu wako but si wengi, hamko wengi. You know, I was reading a post somewhere on Facebook, and it was saying that the girl child amekuwa over empowered hadi the boy child sasa sauti yake haisikiki.
I don't think so, because if the girl child is empowered, then we'll be having 3/4 of the member of parliament being women.
That was my argument as well.
If the girl child is well empowered, then we'll be having 3/4 of the majority in the who are governors. If the girl child was empowered, then we'll be even having a women president. We'll be having a deputy president who is a woman. And I overheard the president even say that in the near future we need to see how women can get into that platform. But how reality is this? How, in terms of even resources, in terms of the bargaining, the vulnerability in terms of even them being out there to campaign, how do they get that opportunity? So I think people knowing their rights is not something we need to compete. And that's the problem we are having, that people are competing between the knowledge that the women are getting vis-a-vis the retrogressive culture that they have had. So for them, they see when a woman makes a decision, when a woman makes a choice, then that's an empowerment. And it's now kind of inadunisha mwanaume. I think that's not the discussion we need to be having. We need to be asking, how are we making these women sit in decision-making platforms? How are we making them decide when and where to get married? How are you going to decide how are they supposed to manage their own families? How are we going to make sure that they are also there to make sure that their own well-being is taken care of without being interfered with men? And this can only be done if you have a society that men respects women. They can sit together, they can agree, they can say we need this number of children, not a decision made by a clan, that in this community lazima huyu mwanamke watoto 7 kwa sababu hiyo ndio ilikuwa mila zetu. I know that's something that we're imposing on these women, and for the longest time women have been submissive for such retrogressive cultures that are undermining their well-being, and that's why I think today we need to be on this discussion and sensitize the young people who are out there watching us that this is not the culture we need to be. And Wangeshi, long time ago, these people who plant these cultures on us, they didn't go to school. And I wonder that if someone has a PhD, a master's, someone has gone to school, is a lawyer, is a doctor, watu wamesoma huku nje, lakini bado ikifika masaa mengine wanarudi back to subscribe to such shenanigans that the people who never knew the transformation of life, people who have not been in the generation that we are in, they do not know. And when we are going home, and I even joked with my colleagues in the office, I told them, sometimes you guys are learned, but you go to your home and have your people discuss on behalf of your price. Mzee mwingine hapo mwenye mpaka ana mpaka kiatu anakuja kusema huyu tunamuoza kwa shilingi milioni 7. Na wewe uko tu pale, after going to school you still are subscribed to that. The same to men. When we take a group of elders, I'm not saying elders are bad, but can we have elders who understand the diversities? Can we have elders who know that when the way your parents took you to school is the same way the parents of that girl took them to school? The way the resources you want to be shared to the way you want your boy to get rich is the same way the girl's parents will want their girls to get rich. And sometimes I normally even say women suffers the most consequences, because if today Wangei should get married to Lunalo here, what happens is that we'll have our own home, and that home will be muchly of the benefit of my side of the family. We will not build a home in your own family. And you know, when that happens, the person who is benefiting much is the men. And you realize, even in our own homes, you realize that the women are the ones who knows where the house, the interior decor should look like. And it's very expensive. How many times have we as men gone to look at the interior decor of the women we've married, their family, their homes, their mother, their father, where they came from. Even the toilets, they are built in our own homes. But if you go to the girls that we married, well educated, utapata kwamba wana shida kwa sababu tume-neglect. And it has brought in this concept and aspect of women stealing from themselves. So if they get money, they don't remember to build their homes. Now they think of, wacha nisaidie mama yangu nyumbani. So na wakati wanaanza kufanya yale, mwanaume pia anaanza kuwa na zile fikra ya kwamba huyu mwanamke basi si mwanamke wa maendeleo kwangu, bali anakusudia kwamba kwao ni kwa muhimu kushinda kwetu. So those discussions are still violations that we need to look into. Can we look at the root cause of why women are nowadays looking forward to even being single? Not than even what is this that is causing them? Why are the men not being willing to have to marry women nowadays? Because that's a discussion we need to be talking. We are afraid of each other because the people thinks, if I have Wangeshi who is a media specialist, practitioner, she's well informed, msichana atanikanyagia.
You know, it happens. I was reading let me cut you short kidogo because of that, because I have to chip in as well. There was a story I was reading. A man felt that uko streets za Facebook, do you read a lot? A man felt that because the wife has a degree and she comes home like 10 minutes or 20 minutes later than him, he felt that this woman was disrespectful and was not acting the way his mother used to act. And this guy was already anatoa ile negative energy because he doesn't have a degree, neither does he have any diploma, but I feel because I married this girl with a diploma, with a degree, this girl is taking advantage because she has a degree, that's why she's getting home late. I don't know why some men have that. And
no one has stopped men from going to school. And you realize that, I'm sorry to say this, people think I'm mad. But any woman who gets an opportunity to get money, the first thing they think is going back to school. But any man who gets money, the first thing they think is on how to
buy a car,
to buy cars, to build good houses, including myself sometimes. So if you have someone whose mentality is going back to school, studying and improving on their education background, that will make them, even the reasoning capacity will go high, because you are getting into diversities, you are getting into experience that maybe your partner doesn't have. Then that causes that conflict. And that's what I'm saying. Can we have a community where people can respect that the diversities in us, as long as, and again, I even got this, and I know it might spear a lot of discussion out there. Sometimes we get into relationships with people who do not know what we do. Like for you are lucky because maybe if you have a partner, someone is seeing on the screen, and by the time you are saying cut, then they know that you are off. So they know by the time you are off the screen, maybe you have around 1 hour to be home, you are around 2 hours to be home. But some people like us, sometimes you realize that our work people do not know what we are doing. So if you are today, you are traveling to whichever country, to whichever county, and you are always on the transit, people might think that you are cheating on them.
Yeah.
And this problem goes even higher to women, because if a woman is married and they have a lot of commitment to their work and they are being sent out all the time, they are going there to do their work. And a man who is a teacher wakes up in the morning, goes to work, gets back at 5, and you are going home at around 11. You arrive home, you are on your laptop, you are submitting reports, you are doing proposals. They are like, wewe kazi tu ni kuangalia laptop. Kazi yako ama ni hawa wanaume una chat nao. So it brings a lot of conflict, and sometimes I think love is so important, but can we prioritize the right channel? Can we sensitize each other? Can people know what we do, where we do it from, whom are we interacting with?
Yeah.
And in even my own spectrum of work, I interact with women a lot.
A lot, yeah.
So you can imagine if I have a woman, what they think, and a woman who doesn't understand what we do. So they will be like, wachana huyu mtu, huyu mtu ni cheat sana.
Anakucheza.
Mbona anatembea tu na wanawake. So such things has brought a lot of conflicts. But for me, I normally say that as long as your career and you choose your path, let no one remove you from that path.
Exactly.
Let not marriage remove you from that path. Not even the church should remove you from that path. Because it's you who knows. And God called every one of us with their own desires, with their own calling.
And their purposes.
And their purposes. Yeah. Maybe for me, I was called to be an activist in the feminism movement. For you are called to be a media practitioner, so that we meet and encourage and sensitize the public. For another person is called to be a teacher. Not all of us can be in a parish. We cannot be in a church.
Yeah.
But when we go to that church, if you are a priest, then priest and pastors will preach to what God called them to do, not harming the society without having understood their backgrounds, because everyone have their own background.
Sure.
I said a long time ago, my mom didn't go to school, my elder sister didn't go to school because of the same thing, and I realized because of this, how will I make? And I can tell you for free, and they are watching. Because I told my parents, my firstborn sister will not pay dowry. They can't. I need to support them because we denied them an opportunity to go to school. Yeah, I need to see their kids grow. I need to see their family get what they want. So since you as a parent didn't think wise that it's important for our girl to go to school, then let me become that parent, let me become that father to this kid, to make sure that the children they have given birth to are living a comfortable life. And I told them, if there is a mahari that was supposed to be paid, I think it will have come, and then we will have been said, wale mandugu zake ndo wanagawana hii mahari. So kwa mahari yenye ingekuja hapa, kwa sababu we have 3 girls and 3 boys, 3 men, 3 women, I said, then for me, I'm taking my mahari from our firstborn, and don't let them pay the mahari. I'll pay the mahari on their behalf, because I will not take it. So it brought a lot of issues even in our community, but at a point my father understood that I mean sense, because women are not there to trade. We are not trading women. We are not selling women. We are not selling our daughters. We are not selling our sisters. We need to make sure that they are living a comfortable life. They need just to appreciate that they have parents, they have a community. If they have something, let them bring so that we eat. If you have something, let us appreciate the women who gave, the parents who gave birth to our wives. Let us appreciate them. But not a guarantee that now it mulipe mahari, musipolipe mahari to the extent, uko Western, kama mtu hajalipa mahari anafika mahali mpaka ananyang'anywa mwili ambao umekufa. Unaambiwa hutazika. You will not bury the dead because you didn't pay. And wazee wanakuja hapo, wazee wengine hapo wanoma. Wanakuambia sasa sisi lazima ulipie mahari kabla uzike. So why should you pay mahari for a dead body?
A dead person.
Why should you do that? That money, why can't we use that money to do something else? Why can't we use that mahari to empower the kids that has been left behind? So that's the retrogressive culture I'm talking about. I know culture is good, but not all cultures can be celebrated.
Yeah.
Like this one, for me, I say the stupidity. And I told my father, if this happens, then you will be counted among the stupid men who has no legacy. If I die today and I'm among the people who are propagating this, I'll want to go to hell. Because I don't want my sister to be crying every day because a man bought them, they are fighting them every day, they are beating them every day because they are objects, they are tools. Yeah. Nilikulipia mahari, nilikununua. Kwa hivyo hamna chochote unaweza niambia. So if someone wants to pay dowry, let it from their own consciousness. Let them see the need of appreciating but not
parents,
paying.
not buying you as
not buying a
you
woman.
cannot buy a woman, by the way. Women are expensive.
Or if that need to happen, then I think this woman should sit down and say, I was born, ni pesa ngapi mamangu alilipa kwa maternity? I was born, ni pesa ngapi mzazi wangu alilipa kwa transport ya kuendanga postnatal clinic and antenatal clinic. Wakati nilizaliwa nilipelekwa nursery school, nilikuwa nabebwa na motorbike. This is how much I spent. So let us then agree that we write all the needs that someone used before now you married them, and then they give you a cost so that you are buying an object, not a person. But if you need to be genuine, na kuna mila zingine zinasema uwezi lipiwa mahari zaidi ya venye mama yako alilipiwa. Then the question is, then you mean that if my mother was appreciated with 1,000 shillings and I'm in a capacity to appreciate your parents with 1,000,000 shillings, that I should not do that because I'm bringing another cast in between. Hizo ndio ujinga ambazo naongelea. Wazee wa kitambo ambao hawakwenda shule walipanga hizi vitu na zikaingia kwenye system ya jamii na imefanya wanawake wengi sana wanadhulumiwa. Na ni muhimu kwa vijana wanaume ambao ni rika zangu waelewe ya kwamba mila hizi zinakandamiza pia the growth of the economy. Sure. Can we look at how do we all of us support the economy? How do you feel when you go home? Ulikuwa na stress ya kwamba nyumba, kama unaishi kwa nyumba ambayo ni ya kukodesha ama chakula unanunua kila wakati. How do you feel when you go home? You have the stress of paying your house and then someone is like, babe, we have already paid the rent. After for 2 months. How will you feel?
I feel fitty.
Yeah, but do they really know this?
Are you aware? Are you self-aware? Are you aware of your partner's goals and maybe what she or he dreams about? So we are going to take a real quick break here on Faraja TV. We'll be back with a very interesting conversation. Masikia venye conversation ni moto. I want to hear your opinion on the same because for this one I'm at almost 100% with Martin. So we are going to take a real quick break here on Faraja TV. We'll be back after a short commercial break.
Faraja TV, chemichemi ya furaha.
Usiku na mchana nakupa sifa, day and night, Lord.
Praise God, our viewers. From wherever you're watching us from, we love you, we cherish you. I, Jack Favor, together with DJ Tish, will be bringing you Nuru ya Injili Gospel Show every Sunday from 6 to 10 a.m. I will be bringing you different inspired ministers of the word, amazing guests and artists that will grace the show. You will also be having an opportunity to greet and waking up your friend, as well as sending a song request that will be playing for you right here on Faraja TV. Hii si ya kukosa. Tupatane kila Jumapili, tubarikiwe pamoja. God bless.
Kwa majina ni John Mragori, ninaokuletea program ya uzima wa kiroho na nidhamu, na programu yetu ya kujia mnamo siku ya kila Jumapili saa 1:30 katika runinga yetu ya Faraja TV, chemichemi ya furaha. Karibu sana, karibu pamoja, tushirikiane katika uzima wa kiroho na nidhamu. Karibuni na mbarikiwe sana. God bless you. God see you through.
Yo, welcome guys to the biggest and most exciting show in the 254, where we bring you exciting topics, great music, your favorite artists, and good times.
Join us each and every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Faraja Mashup. It's your boy Big Man Kyuga.
And your boy Big Willie, aka the Big Kahuna.
Faraja TV, chemichemi ya furaha.
Welcome back to another dialogue-filled morning. You know, I'm enjoying the conversation, not because I'm a woman, but because I can see a man feels the same way I feel. Things should be done. You know, it's something yenye sikutarajia coming from a man. Hata sasa standards for women najua zinapanda tu pole pole tu. Let nobody shun you away from your dreams, from your goals, just because in the name of marriage, relationship, or to please a man, you know. Or even it's not necessarily your boyfriend or fiance. It's even to your parents that somebody takes advantage of you because you're a woman. No. Na tumesikia this is something we've been talking about, being self-aware about what you really want in life and making your partner understand what you really want in your life, the goals you have and the plans you have. You see, it's something we've always talked about in our podcast. We've discussed about the same issue over and over again. Now, as an activist, ndio amekuja akaraba stamp. Namesikia how he's been a supportive brother, father. Yani, hata sijui I lack words, by the way. And thank you so much for being vocal about women. No. It's something, you know, women are vulnerable sana. I was reading an article somewhere, and most women huku nje, before they get those jobs that you see them wanafanya kazi, yani wanapitia kwa moto ingine hapo kali because of men. Men wanataka ku prioritize their sexual needs. They want to prioritize their hunger for women ndio mtu apate job. But I'm glad to see that a man like Lunalo is here, so vocal about women and support women, and he's for women.
Yeah.
You know, it's something. It's something
actually,
too.
we are men of us. I'm just among the men that does this. It's only that, unfortunately, most of us are not coming out here to speak.
Yeah.
So maybe it's good for us to start finding them.
Exactly. Yeah. Show up, hata sisi to feel appreciated. You know, there's, you know, those we in women, those little things matter. Like for you being vocal, what tunatoka hivyo tunaona Lunalo na huyo na placard anaandika stop killing women. End femicide. Hatusemi ati wanaume tena wafinyiliwe, hapana. It's just that sisi hata time yenu imekuwa. You have had all the time. It's a time to shine as well. So maybe you can tell us the journey of feminism, the victories zenye unaweza sema this particular time I felt this one is a dream come true.
Yeah, I came in this when in the dispensation of when women were secretaries. When you go to the meetings, the first thing that the woman will be given, hebu tuandikie
handwriting.
Tuandikie huko na handwriting uzuri. So when they are given such role, then it means that when you are a secretary or the rapporteur, you do not air your issues. I came in when the dispensation were like women should cook for the people who are in the meetings, right? And they were even told the specific way of putting on that you could not come. There are community who are still practicing that, but at least now we can see that they are changing. We came in the dispensation where there was a lot of school dropouts from women. There was a lot of diminishing of women getting married on a very early age. There were these shenanigans where even women were not given priority in the police forces.
Sure.
Women were not given they then perceived men jobs or work or obligations, even in government. A few of women could speak for themselves. A few of women will sit in the discussion and have their offices. But now when the dispensation of the new constitution came and it kind of rationalized the 2/3 gender rule, I think it was one of the most important thing to be celebrated because it gave a limelight that where women should not just be tea cookers, should not just be people who pray the meeting, it should not be just people who are taking notes because they have good handwritings. But nowadays, if you look at the spectrum of work, you realize that where there are men, there's possibility of having women. If you have a cameraman, there's a possibility of having a camera woman. If it's not all about beauty anymore. yeah, it's not all about good handwritings anymore. It's about the brains, it's about the capacities that they are having. And that's something that I think is worth celebrating. When you are seen on the street like the way I normally do, people will question you, people will think otherwise, that you are practicing other sexual behaviors.
Yeah.
People will name you names, people will give you, they will not support you. Unafika mahali unasema huyu anakuwa na umama. Huyu ni mama tu.
But I was to get to there. I was to ask that question because I have seen it.
Yeah, people
I see
it.
those comments online.
Na huyu ako na umama tu, anakaa na mama. But that notion is slowly going down because ule umama ambao unao ndio ule umama ambao ulikupa uhai. The woman carried you in their womb, they gave birth to you, and they took care of you, not minding that you are a male sex organ. They never mind that you are a female sex organ. They breastfed you, they took care of you to the extent that you are. So when you start saying that we are now mama, then can you think of your mother?
Yeah.
Can you think of that young girl that you have given birth to in the name of your daughter? How will you feel when they are going through what you want people to go through? And sometimes I normally tell people, don't even think about that aspect, but now put yourself in a female shoe. Assume you are born a woman and people are doing this to you. Will you go to the street and celebrate? Will you go buy the best wine in the wine shop and say, wow, today I need to celebrate because I was raped, because of the vulnerability I was defiled, because of the vulnerability I was bullied on the line when I was to pay my bills, because of the vulnerability the landlord came and said you cannot live here because I'm not sure you'll pay the bills. How will you feel when you go to a classroom and you are being bullied as a woman just because you were to breastfeed and then maziwa ikaanza kutoka ikaspill? How will you feel when that becomes a subject to you? How will you feel when you walk to a room knowing that I was talking to my colleagues yesterday about the climate change and how it's even affecting the menses for women?
Yeah, actually that's a topic we'll be discussing tomorrow with Assumpta Wangoi.
So I was asking, women, you've used to like your menses comes in on 12th of every month.
Yeah, but
and then all of a sudden it comes on the 8th. It comes on the 6th. You are not prepared, for instance, and it's a heavy one. Then it comes when you are in a matatu somewhere, you need to allow it with a white cloud coming. Then people are like pointing fingers at you. Like, hey, mwanamke hajui kujipanga. Kwani hakujua anafunza watoto tabia gani? Kwani haizi jimanage you? If you are a man and you are in that sex, how will you feel? So the moment you put that in your seat, then it will give you the alternative of then what are you supposed to do to protect that gender, that sex. So it's very important. That journey has been not there, that people has not been appreciating this. I also I'm lobbying for a bill in the County Assembly of Nakuru in a Gender Reproductive Health and Education Bill. And that bill, it is a bill that speaks around lactating facilities. The way here in this institution, how do we make sure that women are having their privacy for expressing? Because me sometimes nilikuwa naambia wenzangu pale, you may not know but women suffers a lot because kama amepewa maternity leave ya 3 months, wakati mtoto sasa ndiye ameshika maziwa, matiti sasa ndiye imejua yafaa ipeane maziwa, sasa ndiye imejua, alafu unamwachisha, unaisha kazi na uwezi beba mtoto wako unampeleka kwa daycare. Ukiwa kwa daycare matiti baada inajua yafaa inyonyeshe wakati fulani, inatoa, so it becomes so painful. It becomes so painful. And then you want this woman to be proactive at workplace. You want this woman to like active and meet the
company's expectation
of the company.
Yeah, by the end of the day.
Yeah. So you realize these women kwenye wamebarikiwa na magari, ataenda kwa gari yake express afinye. But wale ambao wataenda kwa washrooms wafinye. Wataenda kwa all those shenanigans. So why can't we have a dignity way of looking into this, that women can have private facilities in their institutions just to express, so that for them to be proactive and active as per the company's expectations and the government's expectations? How do we make this kind of discussion a mobile discussion where everyone can be talking about it? So these are the things that I think with time there are transformations, and we will see.
Slowly by slowly.
If we went to Safaricom offices will get such a unique facility. And that is a benchmarking that we need to be looking at. The vulnerability of women, I've talked about people being defiled and raped because they are coming out of their workplaces at late, at night. And some people have noticed, huyu mtu anapitanga hapa saa 5, najua ana pesa ya kutosha, anatembea mguu, anashukishiwa na pikipiki pale, alafu anatembea mguu. Then people take advantage of you. Assume this is your mother, assume this is your daughter, assume this is you, this is your wife, if at all you are married or you want to get married. How will you feel? So this journey, I can tell you that now we are harvesting a little bit small gains, small wins. They are not to the level that I want, that I project, but I can say that I think now it's getting well with my soul. Because when you see now men coming out and speaking about it, men talking so openly about this, and you know, look at the women who have been in prison also. Yeah. When they get out of the prison, the way they are treated will not be the same way the men will be treated. They are being given name tags. It's even very, the chances of them getting married is very difficult. Yeah. Very, very difficult. Yeah, but when a man gets out of the prison and you are a woman who got married to this man and maybe you have had kids with that, you will be told, enda tuju ya watoto. And then mulea watoto. And then, so, let us think, let us sit, let us discuss, let us deliberate, let us show that everyone, I normally tell people, everyone is a suspect in this country unless proven innocent. Yeah. Unaweza kuwa unatembea kwa street kumbe mtu anakufananisha na ushiku upatikane mahali penye hujaifikiria unaweza kuwa. What happens to you? Look at the case that was brought to Honorable Waiguru, the NYS Canton. The way it was handled, the way she was body shamed, the way she was, all those shenanigans on media. What about the men who have been in the same
in her shoe?
In her shoe. Yeah. Like there are people who have done big crimes.
Yeah.
There are people
who are walking scot-free.
They are walking scot-free. Yeah. They have not been like hawajafanyiwa yale maovu ambayo Anne Waiguru alifanyiwa. So my question is, why is it that we are so lean to men when it comes to injustices? But when it comes to women, it becomes so radical.
You take a toll on the body of that woman. Self-esteem. You know, they really damage your self-esteem.
So much. Psychosocial support, it takes women time to go to that. And even some psychosocial support, some mental therapists. When a woman goes there, you know, the way they speak to them is like they are so vulnerable, they need to you know, wacha tu, you are not the first one. Vumilia, these things. Bring your mind together, think twice. What are you thinking twice about? If someone has taken a knife and threatened to kill you in your throat, what are you thinking of? What are you still there? Hey, what are you doing there? So I think as per now we have the gender desk in the police office, in the police station. We never had them. It was something worth celebrated. Today we are seeing women MPs in parliament saying a lot of questionable things that makes sense, makes the parliament. We see them speak about even the reproductive justice of women in this country, and I feel good.